I was an ardent supporter of yours, Joe, but you have absolutely failed us. Your legacy is trash. Enjoy Guantanamo? Dude, whoa, this is unhinged. The guy you're turning us over to hates you, and you are on the top of the list of his revenge list. Good luck. Oh, this is a single woman. This is really good. You welcomed, and there's a blue check, which means it's a real person, not an anon, so that makes it even better. You welcomed a fascist convicted felon into the White House today who does not deserve one iota of your kindness. Trump conspired with Vladimir Putin and Elon Musk to steal this election, and we should be fighting fascism instead of enabling it. This is the type of classic female psyche that's going to get completely eviscerated and obliterated in the coming years. It's just you disconnected with reality. Donald Trump is at the White House, and it's as if you can smell the fumes of a special pastry being baked in the oven. And the pastry is saving America, and the fumes are the tears of those who have purple hair. America's been saved, but it hasn't even begun. Obviously, we've seen a plethora of American heroes that have been selected. We have Elon Musk, Vivek appointed to government overseeing of spending. We have a new border czar. We have base patriots being appointed to the heads of every government agency there is. I think yesterday we just saw another base patriot being named as the next head of the FBI, or maybe it was the CIA. When you contrast the people we're putting in and their utter competence compared to what came before, you really see how much the left hates America. But that's okay, because everyone's going to see how much they hate America, including the left. But to them, that'll just mean being judged for their fraudulence, which will enrage them and make them think that they're victims, because rather than adapting like a normal non-psychopath would, they're just going to call themselves victims as a result of being viewed as objectively incompetent and evil. This would be like receiving a prison sentence for committing a heinous crime and then considering yourself a victim and then therefore a good person as a result of being a victim when you face justice. Anyway, let's see Biden welcome Donald Trump to the White House.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President, thank you, Donald, congratulations.
Let's full screen this right now. He calls him Mr. President, then he calls him former president, then he calls him president-elect. So we have all the titles.
Thank you very much. And looking forward to having like we said.
Biden feels vindicated right now. I'll just be honest. He knows that he knows that he should have been the nominee to run against Trump. We would have won anyway, obviously. But the left panicked. They freaked out because the internet said, yeah, it's over after the debate performance. But then they appointed an incompetent woman because she was incompetent and thought that the world would agree with them.
Smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
good.
Welcome
Thank you
back.
very much. And thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. A transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome.
It's really interesting to see these guys sit down as somewhat equals. I mean, they're both, Donald Trump is a much more successful, impressive man, but they can relate on something that very few people can relate on, which is being the president of the United States. And for them to sit there with no need to play political games because they're both fulfilling the maximum which they could fulfill. Joe Biden is not ever going to have the opportunity to be president again. And Trump, after this term, will never have the opportunity to be president again. And so politics are out the window, and they can just sort of look at each other now. It's interesting.
Smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
It sounds like a bunch of screeching hyenas, a lot of feminine voices.
So there are a lot of things to gather in those few moments, which is why it's important to see all of them.
Look at all those press that are standing outside. Oh, man. Dude, when Trump is back in the White House for good, they're going to be freaking out because they have no recourse. We're going to be winning, and their slander will be meaningless and not consumed by even a fraction of the populace because everyone's on X now.
Party.
But it was a cordial moment between these two men, and this is what I think America wants to see. I thought for me...
That's an interesting point, because I don't think the left wants to see this. They still want to dehumanize Trump in their agenda to dehumanize everyone who voted for him. And the reason why I'm still confident in making this statement is because the left is psychopathic. Their psychopathy hasn't dissipated since they've been humiliated, they've only reverted to a stance of victimhood. Oh my gosh, we're victims now as a result of being judged as the immoral, psychopathic frauds that we are. And so they still want any opportunity to demonize Trump. They haven't wrapped their heads fully around the reality that doing so it'll accomplish nothing for them, and it will only set them back because Trump will not have a term after this term. So he's already fulfilled the archetype. This is why the loss the second time for the Democrats, or I should say the third time, if you know what I'm saying, was so important, because what we've done is not only are we going to make America great again in every way conceivable, but we're proving to them that we can hold them accountable if they ever try to promote this level of degeneracy again. The left lost because they catered to the most fringe, insane, radical elements of their party, and the American people said no. Everyone said no. And now, the single cat ladies are in shambles asking themselves, how was this possible? And those people still want to say, oh, Trump's a bad person, but the fact that these two men can sit cordially, like she said, and talk to each other, it's game over for the lunatics. Now, they're going to find some other way of pushing anti-reality, but I think the level of anti-reality that we've seen, I'm hoping, has reached a fever pitch and will slowly decline. I can't make a definitive statement, but I'm hoping that 2024 will be the height of people saying stuff like, it's okay for 8-year-olds to transition, or having the anti-reality mind virus that sweeps through the psyches of so many women that make them resent objective parameters. A lot of those people are boomers. A lot of those people are millennials that are just completely destroyed into thinking, left good, right bad. But that psychopathy is going to be soon broken, I think, into tatters. Let's see how the left is freaking out and breaking down over this meeting. I want to take a temperature of the level of psychopathy that we're going to be dealing with here. Oh, okay, here's the first one. Accusing the new Attorney General of sex trafficking. These people have a very shallow base of strategies and tactics. They tried the same thing with Andrew Tate. It's weird that they didn't learn that was rejected when it failed 2 years ago. Now the only people that believe Andrew Tate is a sex trafficker are literally single cat ladies. It's funny to see, though, how shallow their tool belt is. Oh my gosh, new Attorney General is a sex trafficker. Now, because these people hate America and are thusly disconnected with reality, there are actually several reasons why it's a good thing that these people are choosing to quadruple down on insanity. As their insanity becomes obviously more disconnected with reality, everyone rejects them. And this is really what's been happening to Hassan for the last several months, is everyone now gets to see that the left lost because of its connections with degenerate, low IQ, psychopathic leftist positions, which is exactly what he is. Very incompetent, very low IQ, definitionally psychopathic, intellectually unserious, cognitively a midget, really. But this is exactly what I wanted to see. The leftist fringe getting inevitably triggered, but reverting to a level of insanity that we've never seen. The reason why it's different now is because we're in power and we're going to change everything and make everything great. And so by contrast, their insanity will just be resentment for progress. Whereas before, it hijacked the entire message, which is, of course, the reason why the left lost. Vera Cooper says the winds keep coming. She can't refresh X fast enough. Yeah, it really is like that. Every single hour, pretty much, we're seeing a new appointee that is just so unfathomably based compared to who came before. Here's the official tweet from Biden. I'm hoping to find some juicy breakdown replies from leftists in the comments. Today I met with President-elect Trump in the Oval Office. I look forward to leading a smooth transition and peaceful transfer of power. As I told President-elect, my team is committed to doing everything we can to ensure the upcoming administration has what they need. Oh, here's a good leftist freaking out. Amazing how you were giving that POS Donald Trump the treatment he didn't give you 4 years ago. Yeah, Trump just won for the third time. Sir, you're welcome to... Oh, this is a single woman. This is really good. You welcome to... And there's a blue check, which means it's a real person, not an anon. So that makes it even better. You welcomed a fascist convicted felon into the White House today who does not deserve one iota of your kindness. Trump conspired with Vladimir Putin and Elon Musk to steal this election, and we should be fighting fascism instead of enabling it. This is the type of classic female psyche that's going to get completely eviscerated and obliterated in the coming years. It's just too disconnected with reality. What's going to happen, and I've predicted this, is people will be living at such odds with objective truth that they will be inducing insanity within themselves. And any person that wants to take part is just basically joining a cult, which everyone gets to view as a cult. And the glorious part is I get to say everyone now and for the next 4 years because we got a majority vote by millions and millions of votes. So these people are in a cult. They are brainwashed into hating truth and to hating masculine competence. That's what it is. I thought he was Hitler, so either that was all a lie or you're facilitating the rise of Hitler. Which is it? Yep. Single cat lady. Oh, this is good. Sickening. Please, another single cat lady pro. It's all single cat ladies. And again, you see a blue check, so you know it's not anon. Please save this country and stop this. Just stop it. I'm not going to say how. It doesn't matter how. Just stop this because our enemies can't win. That would be enabling coherence and logic. Just stop this. Just make it stop. Another single cat lady. This is so good. You think I'm using hyperbole when I say all these people that can't stand the peaceful transition of power and the enabling of competence and meritocracy are single cat ladies that can't stand masculine competence? They know that their world is coming to a crashing end. Again, blue checkmark cat lady. Joe, with all due respect, please leave our democracy. Do whatever you can within your power to stop this utter madness. American people electing someone who rejects censorship, tyranny, and the death of America is madness. Let's find some more. What a disgrace. Oh, here's a good one. Another blue check. What a disgrace. Keep in mind, they want to demonize any person who disagrees with them to such an extent that to sit down with the elected leader rather than total demonization and maybe taking even further action is a disgrace. I was an ardent supporter of yours, Joe, but you have absolutely failed us. Why haven't you taken illegal action? Your legacy is trashed. Enjoy Guantanamo? Dude, whoa, this is unhinged. The guy you're turning us over to hates you, and you are on the top of the list of his revenge list. Good luck. Yeah, leftists are broken humans. This is, again, the reason why we had to beat them. Any liberal with a semblance of sanity left, you should look to this to understand how broken your party has become. This is the reason why you lost so brutally. Single cat lady with trans flag in her bio, and she looks like she's literally 75 years old, says peaceful in all caps, like, oh my gosh, peaceful. The left is really so utterly psychopathic, it's astounding they've made it this far while believing themselves to be superior. They believe themselves to be better than any person they disagree with, and this is why it was critical for the country that Trump wins, to bring these degenerate people to heel, to save America, to force them to live under a coherent system of laws reflective, of course, of masculinity, as masculinity is reflective of coherence. There's a lot of support for both Trump and Biden in the comments, of course, but it's interesting how every single woman, as soon as I see a profile picture that's a woman and then a blue check, I instantly know what the tweet's going to be. Women on the left can't stand a peaceful transition of power when it holds them accountable. They can't stand it. It wrecks them. And guys, maybe God knew what he was doing when he made women physically weaker. Because if women were physically stronger than men, we would be living in the most bizarre, insane tyranny the world has ever seen. And you're seeing the proof of that right here. Once again, proving that POTUS is tone deaf. How dare you welcome our opponents in? The tone should be, again, reflective of our psychopathy, not the will of the Americans. Leftists saying that handing over democracy to Trump is like giving it over to an executioner, yada, yada, right? The end of democracy only applies when the majority of Americans vote for someone we don't like. The psychopathy of the left, not even beginning to examine why they lost. That's the definition. That's the definition of psychopathy. This comment section is exactly what I was hoping for. Another single woman. Way to completely throw out your legacy. Thanks for nothing, Joe. Do these women hear how dishonest they sound? If they were to say this in person to a human, they would immediately face social consequences for like degeneracy like this. What type of relationship do you think you had with Joe in your delusional head to make you think that not condemning the duly elected president means throwing away your legacy? What does legacy mean to you exactly? Some sort of, this is what I mean when I say women would enact a total police state and tyranny of chaos, of incoherence and utter just insanity if they could. And of course you see this when you look at the maps of if only women voted, they would get like 400 electoral votes. What do you mean legacy? Oh my gosh, you threw away your legacy by welcoming in the duly elected president that not only was elected but won by a majority of millions in a historical fashion. They've believed themselves to be superior to the American populace. This is the reason why women weren't voting hundreds of years ago, because the founding fathers knew that this would happen. A lot of people calling out Joe Biden for saying that Trump was a dictator or that he was some other, terrible expletive, and now it's all by the wayside. Again, proving that leftists only believe in power. Leftists will never recover. I think that some people will probably go to their grave with a destroyed brain. But that is acceptable because they're the ones who destroyed their own brains. Very happy to see all of this. Quick summary, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is to serve as National Director of Intelligence, DNI. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Here are 5 different names. Elon Musk, Vivek, will lead the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. Trump actually tweeted that, so good. John Ratcliffe will serve as Director of Central Intelligence, CIA. We're replacing everyone. Pete Hegseth to serve as Secretary of Defense. Stephen Witkoff to serve as Envoy to the Middle East. Joseph McKinley, White House Counsel, etc., etc. Kristi Noem appointed to serve as Secretary of Department of Homeland Security. Mike Huckabee, Ambassador to Israel. Elise Stefanik, United States Ambassador to the United Nations. Congressman from New York, Lee Zeldin, appointed as the Administrator of the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. And we're only setting up the chessboard. Think about that. We've beaten and destroyed them. We're going to reshape the world. And as we're setting up our pieces, the left is already just having a full-scale meltdown. You'd love to see it. I'll see you guys in the next video. This is a fantastic one. I thank God every single day that America has been saved. I appreciate all of you. This channel is going to do incredible things in the coming years. So I appreciate you subscribing.